A lot of people have talked about, or at least some have talked about, we're short of dollars. A lot of people are saying we're not meeting what we, quote, need. And what about raising taxes or fees? Where are you on that little discussion?
Well, we talked about that during the election, and I'm a big believer that you listen to the constituency out there. Best I can tell, nobody ran. I did not hear one person, not even those on the left. There may have been some Democrats somewhere, but I didn't hear a person stand up and say, elect me, I want to raise your taxes. Nobody said that. What we said collectively across the board was, we're going to live within our means, we're not going to raise taxes, we're not going to get in the rainy day fund. To do otherwise is to be disingenuous and frankly dishonest with the voters. And you and I both said we're not going to raise taxes. Lieutenant Governor said it, Speaker said it. So I think anybody that's talking about raising taxes right now is living in a dream world.
Let me ask you, the rest of the session is not but about a month left as we speak.
Yes, sir.
What are some of the plans that you kind of look at the remainder of this session that are kind of your goals?
Well, we had emergency legislation that we put in front of the legislature. They've been working on it. All of it's moving. Obviously, getting that loser pay bill passed, and actually the Texas windstorm insurance bill. I mean, the entire state could be on the hook for the cost of a hurricane that impacts the coast of Texas if we don't get this Texas windstorm piece of legislation passed. So those are two really important ones. Loser pay, I tell you, I told Haley Barbour, the governor of Mississippi, we were going to pass loser pay, and he smiled and he said, Perry, you pass loser pay in Texas. He said, y'all can put a toll booth up at all the roads coming into the state and charge admission, because he said people are going to come to your state in droves when they know that they're protected against frivolous lawsuits. Now, if you've been harmed, legitimately harmed, you're still going to have your day in court, and you get to, either receive the appropriate payment for the harm that happens and punishment to those that did you wrong.
Obama, in his State of the Union, made an invitation that he would like to do a test case on loser pays or tort reform,
really?
To see if it works. And I think you can answer the question about not doing a test case, can't you?
Yeah, the test case has already been done. It's called Texas.
That's right.
And y'all passed some great legislation back in 2003. We've seen 26,000 doctors either apply to practice medicine or come back and start practicing again in the state of Texas since you passed that. Access to health care was being rationed because of the threat of lawsuits by these personal injury trial lawyers. Places in Texas didn't have emergency room doctors. Women couldn't get prenatal care. And that's really changed in the state of Texas.
Do you see us loser pay expanding that same success?
Well, what we did for the medical profession,
right,
loser pay will do for the rest of so if you're a small
right,
businessman or big business person, you won't have these personal injury trial lawyers who they like to play blackmail or jackpot lottery, jackpot justice, if you will. Stop that. If you got a legitimate case, man, it'll go through and it'll be appropriately taken care of in our court of law. You'll have your day in court. But if it's just these frivolous lawsuits that get filed to, help some personal injury trial lawyer build a new room on their third house, or
hey, Governor,
we're not interested in that.
You were the first elected official I remember that stepped up to the Tea Parties that came to Austin.
Yes, sir.
You've been quite a friend of the independents and Tea Party, and the super majority election we experienced in Texas from the independents and Tea Party people. Where do you have a message for them? Have they made a difference during the session? How would you encourage citizens to participate in government?
Well, here's what the Tea Parties have done. One of the things, they've done a host of things, but one of the great things that the members of the Tea Party have done is they've really gotten Americans to read the Constitution. There have been more people picked up a copy of the Constitution, actually read it, understood it in the last 2 years than probably in the last 50 years combined. And for that, I am particularly thankful to everyone in the Tea Party who became engaged in that process. Now, obviously the fiscal conservatives, they play a great role today. Their engagement with their House members and their senators making a difference. I mean, the fact is, having those true fiscal conservatives standing up and being vocal is what's going to make us have a good, solid, balanced budget in the state of Texas. And I think at the end of the day, we'll have a budget we can be proud of. You're never going to have everybody happy. I mean, even when we had major budget surpluses, people left out of here, they were unhappy, they didn't get everything they wanted, or they didn't get enough of what have you. But the key is all of those different groups, whether it's Tea Party, whether it's just folks that are, you know, they're focused on the fiscal issues, they can be proud that the members of the legislature didn't forget what happened on the 2nd of November. Elections matter. They have consequences. And when we stand up in front of the people of the state and say, if you'll elect me, I'm not going to raise your taxes. We're going to live within our means. We're going to have a balanced budget. And then they expect you to do that. Now, do they expect it to make tough, hard decisions? Yes, we got challenges. It's, you know, we've got to separate wants from needs. But the fact is, we can do that. We will do that. And I'm proud to stand by people who understand that if we'll be principled in the way we govern, this state will continue to be the #1 state in America to do business. As a matter of fact, just yesterday, CEO Magazine named Texas the best state to do business for the 7th year in a row.
You know, it's great news to find Texas is still on top, Governor. And what do we do to continue that? I mean, we don't want to lose that head of steam that you've helped build up.
Well, it's been a disciplined legislature, and frankly, I think it goes back to about 2003 when we passed that tort reform. We balanced our budget without raising taxes. You know, we had about a $10 billion shortfall then.
Right.
People said, oh, you're going to have to raise taxes. You know, the major newspapers, some of them were calling for a state income tax. You know, the best thing we've never done in this state, pass a state income tax. Right. And that's the reason that we found ourselves to be in this very competitive position, being able to lure businesses into the state of Texas. And it's very simple. It's not rocket science. You got to be a competitive state. So one of the ways you do that is have a tax structure that doesn't that doesn't overburden your job creators, a regulatory climate that's fair and predictable, and that legal system that doesn't allow for oversuing, and you have accountable public schools. So, you know, when eBay announced that they were going to create 1,000 jobs up here in North Travis, Williamson County, they knew there was going to be a skilled workforce to fill those jobs when they open up their plant here. So that's I mean, it's really simple. It's not rocket science. And any state can do it. You just got to have the courageous men and women that will say no to the special interests and no to more spending, more to new taxes. California's Exhibit A for how not to do it. As a matter of fact, on that CEO Magazine list, number 50, the worst state in the nation to do business was California.
Amazing.
Governor Perry is our Twitter site, and obviously on Facebook, and there's just a host of ways that people can contact us and visit with us. And you know, we're tweeting on a pretty regular basis about what we're doing. And Governor Perry is just my personal site. That's the one that you'll see me and my dog or something about the Aggie girls basketball team or something along those lines.
Governor, thank you for being with us today, and with the people and all the folks that I think are looking at appreciate you being a conservative leader for our state and being with us today.
It's an honor to be with you and with them.